Gotta try my best to break her spell before I burn in my own hell. And I find myself waiting to sail that wave again. And as I'm falling deeper in, that's where obsession starts to reign. And it scares me to know what I might find there. I tried to fake the perfect smile, but there's a splinter in my side. My heart has been bleeding since I was stranded. Yeah. And as I watch the perfect dream get ruined by my inner fears, I'm waking up knowing that my love will begin again. And I tell myself I must be strong, can't waste my time thinking I was wrong. Don't know where I am, and she begins it. She's a fever in me. Cinnamon lets her hair down long and is tangled in 1,000 knots. She's holding me in so many ways. Yeah, gotta try my best to break her spell before I burn in my own hell. And I find myself waiting to sail that wave again. Oh, and as I'm falling deeper in, that's where obsession starts to reign. Scares me to know what I might find there. She's the fever in me, yeah, now. Oh, she's the fever in me, baby. Oh, she's the fever in me. Oh, oh,
Cinnamon, from the very first Stories album that came out on their own label in 2005 and was then re-released in 2006, the band having been signed then to Warner Brothers. I asked Steve to take us through those early days with the band.
Well, the Stories were 4 singer-songwriters from South Wales, and we all got together and did a romantic thing. We holed up in an old converted cinema in the valleys of South Wales, made an album that we were very proud of, and all of a sudden people started to hear it, and we released it on our own label, and then one day I had a call from Elton John, and he said, "I've just got your album, I think it's fantastic, will you come on tour with me?" As you can imagine, I had a small nervous breakdown, and then we ended up touring with Elton for about 3 summers all over the UK and into Europe. It was amazing, and he was such a lovely man and a brilliant kind of music lover and a music supporter. It was such an amazing thing.
It's just one of those stories that dreams do come true. It can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah.
I tell you, one of the biggest moments was one of the biggest memories I'll probably take to my grave, was going on stage at the first gig. I think it was Manchester Arena, and seeing Elton come to watch us play with his couple of dogs,
Oh,
and
lovely.
And he was such a support. And I think if you put all the hard work in, it sounds such a cliche, but if you work hard, you make your luck, you make your chances, and I think we certainly did that. We certainly worked hard anyway.
And Bob Harris, dear old Uncle Bob, playing his birthday party, I remember.
He's one of my heroes, Bob, and the Old Grey Whistle Test and his radio show is such a... It's one of the reasons I've got no money, because come every Monday I'm on up the record store. Do they still exist? I'm online downloading songs. Bob is such an instigator of good music, and he was a big early supporter of the band. He came on board early, played our records, and I remember we were coming back from a gig and listening to his show late at night and hearing our song on the radio. We all had to stop the car and have a little bit of a cry. It was amazing. But anyway, I had a phone call from Bob. and Bob asked us to play his birthday, which was another amazing thing. And you can imagine who was there. You know, I was at the bar getting a pint of Guinness, and we all had to come in 60s gear. So I came dressed as Robert Plant. So I'm getting a Guinness, and Robert Plant was at the bar going, "Hey, great singing, man." I was like, "Jesus, it's your fault."
So you're dressed as him, and he's thanking you.
Well, you know,
I love it.
What can you do? What can you do?
I love it.
As we sail through this ocean that was filled with our own tears, all these twisted emotions that we build from our own fears. Yeah, I believe in love, 'cause love is all we have. It guides us to dry land. Yeah, I believe in hope, 'cause hope is all we got when everything is lost. Yeah, everything is lost. Baby, try not to break down. Don't you let him take your dreams away. You can rise above these soul cages. Put back that pretty smile he erased. Yeah, I believe in love, 'cause love is all we have. It guides us to dry land. Yeah, I believe in hope, 'cause hope is all we got when everything is lost. Yeah, everything is lost. She remembers the first time he held her close as the tears ran dry. As she looked down at the bloody water, she saw the child, but the child had died. Yeah, I believe in love, 'cause love is all we have. It guides us to dry land. Yeah, I believe in hope, 'cause hope is all we got when everything is lost. Everything is lost, 'cause everything is lost.
I Believe in Love, from the very first Stories album. There was a huge interest in this band, successful tours, plenty of radio play, and the second album was very well received as well. So when they called it a day back in 2010, we were all left wondering why.
Well, we keep asking ourselves that, to be honest with you. I think we got so far with it, and on some levels we were kind of going up the kind of ladder, and we were getting some great gigs, and we were getting a great following, and everything was kind of working. And then to get to the next level, we need another, an injection of money. And we had a record label, and the guy from the record label lost his job, and then we lost our deal. It's a classic kind of rock and roll story. So basically, to save us all losing our shirts, we decided to draw a line under it and call it a day. Now, what we've left, though, is a great kind of bunch of songs, a great legacy of songwriting that I'm so proud of. And the good thing about the stories, it was never kind of in fashion, as it were. It was kind of just outside of fashion, very 70s sounding, kind of retro sounding in a way. So they'll never age, those songs. So maybe one day we'll come back and something will happen again, you know, something will happen with them.
It would be amazing if that could happen. But let's just look at 2010 when Rosie came into the band.
That's right.
And so she came into the band, and there was one final album. But had you already decided to call it a day when you made the Luck album?
That's right, we did. Rosie came in. One of the boys in the band, Di Smith, called it a day and left. And Rosie came in and took his place because he was such a big personality. We didn't want to kind of find another guy to fill his shoes. Well, he never wore shoes, but you know what I mean. So Rosie came in, joined the band. She supported the band a few times when we toured around the UK. And she brought a different angle and a different thing to the band. But by that time we kind of run out of steam, I think. So we decided, we had a bunch of songs and we recorded the Luck album. But at that time, Rosie and I kind of decided that, you know, if the band were to kind of fold, which indeed it did soon afterwards, we thought that we'd carry on making some music and writing songs.
Please Come Home, featuring the vocals of Rosie Dayton from the Final Stories album, Luck. So that was back in 2010, and the seeds were sown for a Steve and Rosie album. But they were only seeds. Now, I've been following you two on Facebook since it popped up saying there was an album coming. That was in about 1938.
Yeah.
And then I looked again in 56. This has been like the mating of elephants. You got together, but not a lot happened for a very long time. Well, that's how it seemed here.
That's exactly what happened. So what happened was, we you know, I got to be honest, after the stories, I had to take a bit of time to get my head back in order. I think there were several nervous breakdowns that kind of ensued after the demise of the band. But Rosie and I then kind of started to pick up the pieces, kind of take a look at what was going on, and we started to get some ideas together. And it's a brilliant band called Grand Drive. They're two brothers, Julian and Danny Wilson, brilliant songwriters. Danny's in a band called Danny's and the Champions of the World. So we got together with Julian Wilson in his South London recording studio.
Good accent. No, I like that. Yeah, good.
I worked it out, and it was this tiny little place, great groovy little place, freezing though, so we all become friends very quickly. And we started throwing ideas around, and very quickly we had some beautiful kernels of ideas. You know, and at that time we were just thinking about recording some songs and just kind of feeling where we were going. Very quickly we had about 30 songs, and so we started to kind of chip away and record them. And how it happened with us was we had an investor on board, then the investor left, and then we started to make the record with another guy, and then the money didn't come through that way. So then we were lucky enough to get some money from the Welsh Arts Council. They managed to fund us a little bit so we could get the recordings done. So, you know, it was a brilliant but very kind of random series of events that took place before we got to where we are now. And what happened then was we started a pledge campaign, which is the kind of a new thing where fans of a band can buy the album before it's made. They have to have a lot of trust in the band, of course. But we did a pledge campaign, which is still ongoing, and then we got signed to a German label called Ear Music, a German rock label. And that's an interesting story because I toured a lot with a guy called John Lord, who was the keyboard player and one of the founders of Deep Purple.
Yeah, sadly no longer with us, but what a lovely man.
What a lovely man, and a giant of the music industry, and just such a gentleman. So I spent about 5 years with John, and we wrote a song together that I sang at his... there's a big concert at the Albert Hall a year and a half, 2 years ago, just celebrating his work. And I sang a song there that I'd written with John, and I sang a duet called Soldier of Fortune with Sandy Tom, who's a beautiful singer. And the guy who was putting the whole thing together and putting the album out, a guy called Max Vaccaro, heard it and said, "Oh, I love this." And the guy who was looking after the project used to be Out the Story's old manager, and he said, "Oh, you should check this out." And he slipped him a copy of some of the songs that Rosie and I were doing. He said, "I love it," and he signed us. So it's one of those, and I like to look at that and think that John was kind of reaching out from beyond, going, "Come on, Steve, get on with it, for God's sake, you're running out of time, you're going grey."
I have often told you stories about the way live the life of a drifter, waiting for the day when I take your hand and sing you songs. Maybe you would say, "Come lay with me and love me." I would surely stay, but I feel I'm growing older, and the songs that I have sung echo in the distance like a sound of a windmill going round. Guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. I can hear the sound of a windmill blowing round. I guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune. I guess I'll always be a soldier of fortune.
Soldier of Fortune, with my guest Steve Balsamo, joined there by Sandy Tom, and a recording that gave the forthcoming Rosie Dayton and Steve Balsamo album a real push in the right direction. The new Rosie Dayton, Steve Balsamo album that has been gestating for a long time, several years, isn't it, Steve? I'm not being unfair here.
It's been about 4.5 years, I think.
I wasn't going to say 4. Several years. Several years. It's called Unfolding. Why?
The song Unfolding that we wrote, when we were in that South London recording studio with Julian Wilson, we started a song, and the way we start with some ideas, some melodic ideas came, and the song came very quickly. And then I remembered a story of the stories where there was a guy and his son used to come and see the band quite a lot, and the guy came to one of our shows, and his son was going off to Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the son was killed in Afghanistan, and I remember one of the shows they sent a representative from his squadron to come. God, I'm filling up thinking about it. To come and get one of Di Smith's songs, a song called "God Take Care of the One I Love," that this kid really loved, and they played it at his funeral. So I remember that. It's such a beautiful and tragic story that Rosie and I decided to kind of write a song based on that, really, about getting a letter or a phone call, one of those phone calls that you hope you never get. So that's how the genesis of the song Unfolding came about, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of that song. It's one of the loveliest things I think I've ever written.
We've got a version here, pretty much stripped back, just the two of you, Steve Balsamo, Rosie Dayton together. This is Unfolding.
I'm right here on the table of a cross upon a seal. I'm not ready to be opened, be unfolding. I'm in trouble, I'm a writer, I'm not saying what I feel. I would rather this would never be unfolding. What we all need, here's a little reason what I see. When I look around, I'm not gonna swear I'll be there. I'm a speck on the a soldier in a line, but I'm still shining bright. But I'm ready to belong in unfolding. See you sitting around the table. I'll be home by and by. If you're ready, leave a light on. I'm unfolding.
A specially recorded stripped-back version of the title track Unfolding from the long-awaited album from Steve Balsamo and Rosie Dayton, who were joined there by Andy Collins from The Stories and Pete Thomas on keyboards. So the big question, when is the release date?
Nail it to the wall. It's the 5th of February 2016. It sounds ages away, but it's only a couple of months away.
Just before we go on to the first single, Light in the Dark, from the album, where did you and Rosie first meet?
I met Rosalie about 10 years ago in a producer called Martin Terefe's London studio. Martin Terefe, Swedish producer, songwriter. He went on to, after working with us, I was working on my solo album for Sony and she was working on a solo album for EMI. He went on to work with Train, Jason Mraz, Katie Tunstall. He's won a Grammy. Yeah. We should have stuck with him. That's what I reckon. So we met there, and we kind of love all the same things. Emmylou Harris and Graham Parsons. We love Maria McKee. We're both massive Maria McKee fans, and we both love cake and cooking. So we decided to, we were like, oh, we've got to get together and write something. So 10 years later, she supported the band, and then we're here, So it's one of those, we'll definitely do it one day, and it did come to pass.
And you're doing a few dates, now and through November.
We are indeed.
I've got those. I'll put those on the website so people can see. And then will there be a bigger tour once the release comes?
We will. We're toying with doing something quirky. One of my big passions in life is investigating the paranormal. Now, I know this sounds a bit weird, but I absolutely love anything kind of esoteric, psi phenomena. So we've one of the songs on the album is called "The Ghost of Me and You," and we've actually during one of my investigations we recorded some, and I'll put it in inverted commas, kind of ghost voices, some voices that weren't there when we were in the room recording. They kind of appeared later on. It's called electronic voice phenomenon. It's a weird old thing, but this voice appeared several times. It kept coming back during the weeks. We did this kind of experiment for over a year and a half, so it was it was a proper investigation. And this, we called him the Geordie man because he's got a northern accent. So we took a clip of his voice and put it on the beginning of The Ghost of Me and You. So we've hid it in the background. I could send it to you if you want. Put it on the website. It's very spooky stuff.
And you've no idea where it comes from?
No idea. Well, it could be stray radio waves, because we didn't have a thing called the Faraday cage, which blocks any kind of radio waves coming. We didn't have a massive investigation, but we recorded many voices. So one of the ideas, we've got a beer that we're going to be brewing for the launch of the album called Ghost Ale, of course. And we were thinking of doing a tour of haunted pubs around the UK where we can have a little quaff of our ale, and we can have a little ghost hunt at the end of the night. Play a few songs in between. That's one of the plans we're kicking around, and it's got some legs, I think.
Steve, it's been an absolute joy having you with us.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you for coming on, all the way from Wales proper. We're going to finish with the single, the first single to come out from the album, the pair of you, Light in the Dark. Lovely title. Any story there?
Well, there is, and again, it's Rosie's friend was another soldier from Afghanistan, and he, not that we're politically motivated in any way, but he was having terrible nightmares and night terrors, post-traumatic stress kind of symptoms, and Rosie kind of wrote the lyric based on, it was trying to tell him everything's going to be alright. So this is a song basically about saying everything's going to be alright.
I will shine a light in the dark. I will find your heart and ignite it. Gonna find out just who we are. Daylight at dawn, leaving the door half open. Flick of a switch, I don't